talk about it, but main thing is that Master says that three basic principles. First is Shravanam, which means listening and learning. After listening and learning, contemplation and reflection. So, how to do contemplation and reflection? I listened. There is a happiness and there is a pleasure. So I asked the question, what is happiness and pleasure in Eastern wisdom? We say the pleasure is a short-term happiness. I get I become happy eating the food, buying a car, having a clothes, meeting the soulmate, so called. After a few months, they become sourmate. So, that is what I have been witnessing. So you ask the question, oh, that is the short-term pleasure. But mind, you again ask the question, but after all, there is a pleasure. Really? Pleasure in eating pasta? So we inquire whether the pasta has a property of pleasure. Pasta has a property? No. Pasta does not contain pleasure. Art does not contain a pleasure. Oh, so, but I experience the pleasure. But my all experiences may or may not be true. We normally brag, oh, I have my experience. Come on, did you validate? Did you inquire about your experience? Are you
Mm-hmm.
understanding?
Yeah. Well,
So you see that from pleasure to happiness, you go move to the experience, and ultimately, then you ask, uh, whatever I experience, is it authentic? Is it real? My experience changes. What I experience today mm, changes next day. So which experience is real? None of these experiences are real unless I experience the dream that I have $1 billion. You experience in the dream that you have $1 billion. In a dream, that is not a fake experience. In dreamer feels that it is a real experience. Only when you wake up and then you say it is unreal experience. Oh, that is the nature of a pleasure. So what should I do? Should I stop eating the food that I like? No. Internally, I should be aware. I should maintain the awareness that, oh, this is not real experience of the pleasure. Then where is the pleasure? Where is the happiness? Happiness is within me. That is the process of contemplation and reflection. So three steps, what I said. First is the listening and learning. Second is the contemplation and reflection. We ask the question, we want to know the truth. Eastern wisdom aims at discovering the truth that is already there within me. That is all about spirituality, that is all about awakening. Yes, once we reach to that truth, a lot of changes takes place in our behavior, in our attitude, in our expression. That is different. People say, you get some powers. Yes, you take it normally. So the last week we had discussed about happiness hunt and pleasure. Then we also understood how the delusion takes place because my mind imposes the pleasure, superimposes the pleasure in food, in car, in soulmate, in dress, in anything outside. We also understood with reference to that how our human mind is able to understand this. Animal mind do not understand. Did I tell you or I told someone else? The lion becomes old. Now he is already going to die. He is the head of the herd, but still he is ready to fight with the young lions to maintain that pressure. Why? Animal instinct. When I am old, I use my intellect. No, I should not fight with the Dylan. He is very strong. I find other way. That is the job. That is the difference between the animal mind and the human mind. Same thing applies in everywhere. Oh, he competes me. He is getting good score. So let me enable my intellect to get a good score. One option. It is from the human intellect. And what is from the animal mind? Let me fight. Let me bring him down. What benefit I get? I don't get any benefit. My whole energy is spent in bringing the other person down. That is what the animals do. And that is what we also do. Majority of people. Eastern wisdom says, don't do this. Understand. Enable your intellect to rise above, to gain those powers by which you can get good score. So the moment we think in that way, that is the dharma. Don't take dharma as some religious concept, even though literally dharma means one meaning in English, one rough translation, wrong translation is religion. But the right translation is animal mind plus right thought, right speech, right action is human being. What modern science and medical science are doing from the objective point of view, they are good. We say you are good. We don't criticize. Rather, what modern science explains, it helps us. And see, I gave you two very important understanding of the human frame. One is the speech. And other is holding to the hand. These two motor organs are so much fascinating. Apply, for example, to the tiger. He has the power of speech and he can use the hand. They use the four legs. Holding. One insect is on their back, and the tiger says, "No, I have a hand, so let me scratch and remove." But no animals can do it. Have you seen the rhinos? There is I don't remember the bird, who sits on the rhino's back, and they bite it so much that they extract the blood. They suck the blood.
Mhm.
Rhinos cannot do anything. Hence, very powerful. We don't recognize it. And same thing with the power of speech. No, I'm not fighting with you. Calm down. I have just come to make a plea, you see. Power. It contains a tremendous power. Both absent in animals. Tell me, any animal. Even the monkeys, they try to use it, but they fail. At least, when they have to escape, they have to run from four legs. We have a tremendous power in these hands and a tremendous power in the speech, which is absent in all the animals. They make a sound. They make you can say that their own language, but they are very limited. Their expression is not clear. They are very clear among themselves. They are not very clear. Well, the Eastern wisdom recognizes that I have to use the hand for the best use. I have to use the power of speech for the best possible difference. And the more we use the intellect to use the power of speech and power of hands, we are going to evolve. What is that evolution? Is a rise in awareness. We both have a higher level of awareness. Just analyze it. Lion is also aware. Lion is standing 50 feet away from me. They know animally how to attack. And they attack either by their paws or by their mouth. I am aware. I have hundreds of options. If I have a rifle, if I have a bow, if I have a stick, if I have a door, I'll close the door. And intellect goes to the hand. So why I'm saying, see, you are young. As you grow older, use the intellect to use the hand and the power of speech to get the things done. It will help you rise in awareness. Don't get into panic. You don't get into anxiety. Why there is the need of anxiety in doing it? There is no need for reaction. I have the asset, power, with me. So when I don't use, I'm using the animal mind. There is no dharma, and then I react. I enter into anxiety and stress and suffering unnecessary. My master used to say, "Oh, you had too much of anxiety. Give me 3 benefits of anxiety." Is there any benefit of anxiety? Is there any benefit of reaction? I react to you, you also react to me. We abuse each other. Ultimately, we calm down. You follow your own house, I follow my own house. And still, I carry forward the impression, and that disturbs my sleep. These are the good benefits. So, my intellect can prevent me not to react, not to enter into anxiety. Intellect. Intellect can use the power of speech. That is what one example of that. I live in higher awareness to solve the problem. If I live in lower awareness, like the animal mind, so I have the animal tendency. Animals react, so I react. I fight, so they fight. Animals bite, so I also bite through the words. No. So we have to unwire this mind. That is our topic. We have to navigate our mental operating system. We have to unwire. We have to understand this mental operating system. When we use the word mind, we have already discussed perhaps that when we use the mind, we say it is an inner instrument. Instrument like smartphone, refrigerator, car. If you live in awareness that this mind is an inner instrument, it is not my boss. I should take over this instrument. Instead, this instrument should take over me. Anxiety, this instrument has taken over me. Anger, agitation, stress, this instrument has taken over. That is how the modern science categorizes. First, this instrument takes over me. Then modern science analyzes and observes behavior, and then they have created a behavior model. So you have these behavior and the symptoms. So you are categorized as a depression patient, categorized as a PTSD and anxiety. But when I have taken over the mind, where are the symptoms? Where are the symptoms? I don't allow. Mind. So when we use the inner instrument, it has four functional aspects. First is the receptive mind. And second is the decision maker, is the intellect. Third is the ego and the I thought. Fourth is the memory bank. Or you can add one more. In the memory bank, we have the subtle past impressions. So basically, we are trying to unwire the mind. So I have to understand what this mind is. So first thing we have to understand that mind is one structurally, functionally four. Very clear concept in principle. In Eastern wisdom, mind, intellect, I thought, ego, and the memory. Include under memory those past impressions. So okay, I have understood. So this four aspects together is my personal streaming device. We stream videos, personal streaming device. We stream constantly, even in sleep, even in dream. Streaming device. Have you seen the videos? Oh, they get excited. In order to excite the viewers, then they calm down to attract their attention. Same thing under this streaming device. We have a center of reaction, we have a center of excitement, we have different centers. Streaming device. So the mind, when we use the word mind out of the four, it is basically a receptionist. Receptionist in a Fortune 500 company who is sitting with a, hey, how are you, Dylan? What brought you here? Receptionist, welcome. So that mind receives the inputs from the sense organ and it goes to the mind receptionist. Where is the intellect? Intellect is the executive director, decision maker. Where is the I thought? The identity creator. Ego is the identity creator. We have a different definition. It is, you can say, the same mind adopts the functioning of an I generator. And the fourth one is the memory bank. Understand it again, this receptionist. This aspect receives sensory input without judgment. Registers raw impressions. It registers raw impression. Oh, Dylan has a black beard, looks very smart, and just takes the raw impression. And your mind picks up, oh, he has a gray beard. He seems to be older than me. That is the decision maker. Raw impressions like red, loud, sweet functions as initial awareness stage. Our goal is to find the real self. But who has to find it? Mind. So, but if the mind, if the inner instrument is functioning in order, we can find it. So that is why we are trying to understand this mind. The intellect is the executive director. It discriminates, it discerns, and decisive function. It analyzes, it judges, determines what things are. More or less, in the beginning, it works like a scientific research, scientific understanding. How come this rainbow is there? So it questions, it judges, it analyzes, it stores the information, and then it makes a logical decision based on the information. And then comes, who is making a decision? It happens in the mind. That ego is nothing but one mind. When you attach I-ness with any thought, it becomes ego. I'm into anxiety, I thought. I thought is in the mind. Experience of anxiety is from the mind. Decision taker is the intellect, and I thought. All are in the mind. From where I got it? From the memory bank. It stores the impressions from all experiences. Senses gathers the information, mind registers it without judgment. Buddhi judges and analyzes and decides. Ego claims it is my experience. Really? It's your experience? Do you experience, what do you experience? I experience the heaviness in the head. I experience the heaviness in the head. So it means I am the head, hence I experience the heaviness. No, I'm not the head. We just take for granted. So we have to discern that we are going to. Mind simply registers, intellect analyzes, ahankara or the ego personalizes, and memory stores. All are functions of the mind. That is how we understand. Now the main topic, you have to write a lot when you are summarizing it. Where is the topic? So our masters says that this mind, all four together, this mind is such a crazy software. It has developed the capacity to receive pain and pleasure. I will never say, but just for example. For example, there is it's crazy and it's not good. Now, the crazy mind has a capacity to receive pain and pleasure. Oh, wonderful! He is wonderful. What happens? Pleasure. But why? Modern science doesn't answer you. But why? When I said you crazy, did the crazy word touch your heart? Or it is just a word? Why it touched? Because you dislike it. When I said wonderful, did the wonderful touch your heart? Why? Because you like it. So there is a big bug in this mind since our birth. We are heavily conditioned. What is this bug? Bug of like and dislike. Bug of likes and dislikes. I have an inherent in the mind likes and dislikes. That is why I react in pain and pleasure. Find out if it is not. If there is no impression stored, my mind is not conditioned, there is no bug of likes and dislikes, whether I say you, good or bad, whether I say you, crazy or wonderful, bug is not there. I like this food. I like this food. Now I'm giving other examples. I like this food, overeating, digestive problem. That is why it is a bug. Is that bug of the likes and dislikes? I hate this food. So after a few weeks, you develop a taste for it. It might have happened in your life. It happened to my life also. I like spicy food. Too much spice today. Discomfort from the very thing one likes. I like it, but I say it is too much spicy. Still, I like it. It's good. It's good. Bug. I have to remove this bug. If I don't remove this bug, I cannot find the reason. But when I remove this bug, the mind reaches to a state of calmness. Now I'm not impacted. That is the first bug. Second virus, I would say. Second virus is that mind has inconsistent judgment. I saw that person seemed like a wonderful person. After a week later, I realized he is crazy. Inconsistent. Real self is always consistent. Real self is not impacted by anything. So if I don't remove these bugs and viruses from the mind, I cannot find the real self. Have you seen majority? I would say 99% of the cases, younger generation, and then it continues. I found the soul mate. After a few weeks, it becomes a sourmate. Now that we have reached to a point of no return, divorce. Inconsistent. It is not the problem with the other person, it is the problem within me. Why I judge that you are my soulmate? And then why I make another judgment that you are my soulmate? I agree with younger generation, but I don't agree with that, oh, we should be dating. And I dated for how many years? 3 years. Did you agree? Yes, I agree. So fourth year we got married. And now fifth and the sixth year we are on the verge of divorce. So what you have observed, what is your consistency in the first 3 years of dating? Did you understand? We are going deeper, step by step. So the first bug is of likes and dislikes. Second virus is inconsistent judgment. Mind, I want you to be consistent first. Then I will build a relationship. Problem is solved. I need not to suffer. I understand.
Mhm.
Very clear. I'm making it very clear to you. And then we have a conflict. That is another, you can say, the but inner conflict in the mind about three states. What are the three states? Waking, sleep, and dream. No, no, but where is the problem? I did not sleep last night. This thought is in the waking state, right? The sleep cannot know what is the waking state. The waking does not know what is the sleep state. Or do you know it? We don't know. The moment if you claim that you know the sleep state, you are already awake. The moment you know I'm dreaming, you are awake. And in the waking state, you say that, I'm dreaming, you are crazy. The dream and the waking state do not meet. So now you see what happens.
Rest.
What happens? I did not sleep last night in a waking state. You are dreaming about the sleep state. So now you create an anxiety about sleep. Forget about it. When you want to sleep, then lie down on the bed and practice relaxation and fall into sleep. No, 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 but I have to think, I did not sleep last night, so then I have a lot of anxiety at my professional work also. I always get a sound sleep when the lights are off, yet when lights are off, the mind creates other issues. Mind has created another problem. I told you, mind has developed a wrong capacity to experience pain and pleasure. And the mind, then we continue to live to avoid the pain and to live in the pleasure. Pleasure is short lived, it is an imagination and delusion uh, that life is full of pain and pleasure. There are many other, but I will focus on the. So the mind has created this programming has to be deleted and the new program has to be installed. That is one of the most important aspects of the Eastern wisdom. I have to delete. I have to remove these bugs and the inner conflict and the virus, and then I have to reinstall it. Basic problem is lack of thinking. Intellect is twisted. I take for granted. I'm into anxiety, so I take for granted. I know you belong to the same profession, but I just proved that my point in a different way. Okay, I agree with you that you have an anxiety issue. Is it a chronic? Yes, it is a chronic. Now you see. So I ask you to enter into anxiety symptoms tomorrow at 10 a.m. So when the tomorrow at 10 a.m. comes, you are conscious, you are aware. Can you have anxiety when you are aware? Or I can say, leave the anxiety behind. I want you to be angry tomorrow at 10 a.m. When the 10 a.m. comes, you have a smile on the face. No, I cannot become. It is lack of thinking, it is lack of awareness. Problem is lack of awareness. I did not apply the intellect. The moment you apply the intellect, you start analyzing it, the problem starts reducing. We take for granted that I am stressed, I am into anxiety. Oh, you look at this, those symptoms. You are rude and you are crazy. You do not understand me. You see this. Calm down. Use the intellect. Make the other person understand in a different way. I'm not able to cope with what? What? Virus? Bugs? Inner conflict? That is what the mind has developed the capacity to receive the experience of pain and pleasure. That is what we have to solve. Think, think, think. So Master says the fundamental problem is lack of thinking. And the moment you start thinking, then our thinking moves in a wrong direction. Eastern wisdom says you have to think in line with the principles of East. Master says we will supply you these simple tips and principles. You start contemplating and reflecting. You start with you move from the lack of thinking to the conscious thinking. Conscious thinking should follow the simple guidelines in the beginning, and after that it becomes an easy affair in your life, and then you change yourself. So the moment you use the intellect, not only you take over the mind, you take over the intellect, you take over the I thought which says I'm into anxiety, I'm 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 reacting, I have a habit of reacting, it drops from your system. And that mind is the purified mind, and the purified mind can help us reboot the entire mind, and ultimately we enter into a higher level of awareness to find the real. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Now remember P, P, P. Where is P, P, P? Place, position, and place, position, and posture. Place, position, and posture you are talking about? Yes. Yes. So the place of the body or the place of the real self? I'm just asking you to think. Place of the body. Yes, I know the place of the body is here on the chair, and place of the real self is everywhere because it is pure consciousness. Position of the body is here. Is here. You feel the sensation, but the position of the real self is always one, consistent, not changing. So it has to be one. Same thing with the posture. So when I think in this way, even during the practice, it works. If it works, you have risen in awareness. And but yes, if it is not, we continue doing this practice. I'm just trying to help you to understand the same steps in a different mode. We do the same steps but in a different mode. I believe you are getting it. to the being comfortable. Okay, you say the being comfortable. So we say that the comfort in the body manifests when we follow the step. What is the step? You look at the neck joint, you look at the neck joint, move the mind inside the neck joint, find the emptiness, stay there, stay there, know, feel and experience sensation, comfort and steadiness, sensation in the body, no problem, a steadiness in the body, no issue, but discomfort manifested from the real self. If comfort is the intrinsic nature, then what? The body will never be discomfortable. How simple to knowledge must follow. Knowledge must be included into the practice so that we don't fall into any kind of hallucinations, my friend. And now we move to the next step of being carefree. What I said, being carefree. Perhaps you have done the practice. So in being carefree, what is carefree? Oh, carefree is free from all the cares. Who cares the mind? How it cares by thoughts. What should I do? I should not be carried away by thought. Carefree, again I'm saying, means free from cares. Then comes who cares? The same mind that developed the capacity to receive pain and pleasure. Now we are exploring how come. The mind cares how by thoughts and feelings. And that say for example, I'm in anxiety, I'm stressed. Okay, you said it. But that thought and feeling is separate from me. The moment you discover you and stress, thought, you are different from the thought of the stress and the feeling of this. What happens? You are carefree. That is another meaning. We have done the 3 steps, and now we'll go to purify the mind. Oh, we are going to purify the mind now? Yes. So in purification of the mind, this is an active practice. So what we do, you look deep inside, you look inside the space inside the forehead, and then you start the long hissing and the deep breath. Long hissing and the deep breath. Long hissing and the deep breathing. So remember, long, deep, and the hissing breath means your chest and your belly and the chest expands and your belly and the chest contracts, and you experience that. You experience the expansion and contraction. It means you are doing good. You experience the expansion and contraction of the belly, then the rib cage. You empty the belly first and then the rib cage. So we have a systematic breathing. When you have a systematic breathing, it works. It works. Long, deep in the hissing breath. We are into the second practice. Today is the modification of the second practice. So sometime you can pick up any one. I have labeled it as 2.3, means second practice and third modifications. Yes, you see that if the mind if the mind is in the mood of receiving pain and pleasure, then the practice will be slow, mind will modify it, and then we will not have the right result. But it's okay. Just you recognize all those aspects. Recognition is more important. Continue long, deep in the hissing breath. I experience my belly is full, then I continue to expand the rib cage. I empty the belly and then I empty the rib cage. It is systematic point to point, and that helps me to bring about a change in that mind which has developed a have a capacity to receive pain and pleasure. And now stop this, do nothing, just allow the breath to be normal, the mind. You know, you feel, you experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Here into the comfort zone, you experience. What do you experience? There is a different feeling, calmness, and the freshness. You're simply noting what is happening. You're doing nothing at this moment. Today we'll be doing the second round. You start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath again. Keep looking inside the forehead in the space. You can easily check how many times the mind is distracted from this point. Yes. Continue. Long, deep in the hissing breath. Long, deep in the hissing breath, please. Ears clear in understanding. Clear in understanding. Clear and understanding. Continue breathing deep, silent, deep, long in the hissing breath at this moment. We're doing the deep, silent, slow in the next step. Continue. You see that we should be able to do minimum 3 minutes. Today we did it only for 2 minutes, one round. And now stop it. Allow the breath to be normal. First thing. Allow the breath to be normal. First thing, experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Just experience feeling, calmness, freshness. What is happening? You're doing nothing. In that state, you're looking at the breath. You're looking at the breath. And when you're looking at the breath in the state of sensation, comfort, and steadiness, relaxation and calmness. So we will absorb the mind by deep, silent, and slow. Now you start breathing deep, silent, slow. Check everything. It is deep, means you are breathing slowly. It is slow, so it is damn slow, so that you experience the breath is silent. There is no noise, even you don't hear it. Deep, silent, and slow. In with deep, silent, and slow breathing, with awareness and attention, inside the forehead in the space, as if we are taken over by the infinite space with the deep, silent breathing and slow breathing. It is deep, silent, and slow breathing, and you continue looking inside the forehead in the space inside. We are changing the mode of the mind where we can install the knowledge, where we can install the knowledge of the Eastern. Why to install? That is the way we are uninstalling and reinstalling. now do nothing, allow the breath to be normal. No change in the rate, in the rhythm of the breath. There is no change. What is happening is calmness, mind living within. That is the moment we can introduce. How were to introduce Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. May all beings be happy. So you say mentally into the space, you say mentally into the space, may all beings be happy. Wait for a second, wait for a second, there is a pause. Reflection part is happiness is our essential nature. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve santu niramaya. It means may all be free from illness. So just say mentally, looking into the space, may all beings be free from illness. What is that state? Well-being. What is wellness belongs to the body and the mind. And being is our real nature. That is why we say well-being. Oh, so the being is always in that state? Yes. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. May all perceive and live in auspiciousness. So just looking inside the forehead in the space, say mentally, may all be in that auspiciousness. Auspiciousness means peace, joy, expansion of the mind, plus other things. Now do nothing, remain as you are. Just remain. In the very beginning, we understood I am different from my experiences. I am separate from my experience. So it means I am plus body plus experience in the body. That is why I say plus, experiences in the body is not you. So I'm adding the plus. You have to be aware. I am plus mind, or maybe plus calmness. Calmness is different and separate from me. It is my experience. Now you're listening to the chanting 3 times. You listen and with awareness. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your Bodha palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. A little tired, but good.
Oh, yes, okay. We will take care of that time. No worries. It's a feeling sleepy
Yeah,
because we almost did nothing. So it's basically a relaxation, but the mind wants to doze off.
yeah.
Yeah. That is all for today. We will